But where I'm going to be buying the SPX at will definitely be at the 200 EMA on a weekly time frame, because as we can tell, once it gets to this level, it rips and take off. The only time you will see it get below that 200 EMA on the weekly is when it's really bad happen, like .com crash, global financial crash. GPK make packaging for 38% of the food, beverages, all of the household products, the health and beauty. So my game plan is, if I'm gonna lose more than 30%, I want to invest in it. Not only that, it's trading 51% below their estimated value. Earnings are forecast to grow 27%. This is what they're getting paid for by country. And what do they do when they become oversold on the monthly? They take off every time. Also, they see it's trading below 62% of its trading value. Man, what is good, YouTube? Today I'm back with another video. I'm gonna go over some undervalued stocks to buy with some good current event news and just great things in general. You're going to learn a lot because I'm going to cover like over 10 different topics. So if you're a beginner, this is the place, because it's going to be beginner knowledge for you. And also, I must say, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do have disciplined diamond hands. So let's get straight into this thing, man. First thing first, no crash ever made the stock market unprofitable, only emotional sellers and buyers. So what that means is, if we check it out from the president inauguration, from retarded inflation, from the pandemic, from trade tensions, oil price uncertainty, global financial crash, like let's look at some of these crashes, like crashes of 52%, crashes of let's see, 54%. But recently, no crash has been that bad because nothing that bad has happened within the economy. COVID-19 crash was kind of bad, 35%. But where I'm going to be buying the SPX at will definitely be at the 200 EMA on a weekly time frame, because as we can tell, once it gets to this level, it rips and take off. Let's circle. So like the stock market has been in the uptrend for over 300 years basically, and the only time you will see it get below that 200 EMA on the weekly is when it's really bad happen, like .com crash, global financial crash. They saying the AI bubble might make it happen, but honestly, I don't think the AI bubble is coming just yet, because if we look at this, if we look at GLOB, one of the companies we're going to be going over today, we will learn how AI is spreading into these different industries. And AI is only becoming more profitable to these industries, and investments are only pouring more into AI. Like JP Morgan investing 10 billion into AI. I mean, if it was an AI bubble, why would JP Morgan lose and risk that much money? You feel me? But these are some of the sectors AI is growing in. We're going to be going over their investor relations, and what are their investor relations? Where their investor relations cover their earnings, what their investors need to know. Why do we need to go over this? Because it helps us understand how great the company actually is. Like, we can see all the top things, we can see the growth from the company itself, from the horse's mouth, you feel me? And then as well as, check this out, GPK, everything we eat, GPK make packaging for it, basically for 38% of the food, beverages, all of the household products, the health and beauty. Back in 2017, their sales was 4.4 billion. They was only in the dry food and beverage sector, but they have grown into, doubled their sales, and they have grown into making packaging for almost every product in the supermarket, basically. And they're only continuously expected to grow. But yeah, let's get into this thing. I'm gonna be buying SPX for sure at the 200 EMA. But if it don't get to the 200 EMA, I'm gonna add, like, every time the SPY pull back 5%, I'm probably gonna throw a little bag at it. If it fall back 10%, I'm gonna go even crazier. 20%, 50% is the gold mine. But honestly, I'm not going to be adding to the SPY or SPX index, because I'm gonna be adding the SPXL. Why would I do that? Because it moves 2 to 3 times as fast as SPY. So that means, instead of just, for me personally, instead of me just profiting, at 40% once it run back up from that 200 EMA or from that low right there, I'll be able to profit not only 40%, but look at that, 150%. Or if it pullbacks just to that 200 EMA, and then it's going to make new highs, because that's what it did over the last 300 years. But is right there. It's 67, 68%. So it moves 2 to 3 times as fast as SPY, and we're all about making that cheese. So that's where the cheese gonna be at. First thing first, let's go over Global Financial. Why do I like them? First thing first, well, I like to use the RSI indicator, and this is how you add the RSI indicator. Just click indicators up there, add relative strength index, and then you want to also add the moving average exponential, and then you want to click on this, right? Let's get this on. Click on inputs and make these your settings, screenshot and pause. And then we're also going to go over the RSI, because these really the 2 indicators you need to make money as a beginner investor. This is really all you need. And honestly, I would recommend going for blue chip companies. I wouldn't say start with these. I would go for blue chip companies, and because these are more high risk than blue chip companies, because obviously these IPO in 2014. Blue chip companies have been on the stock market for over 100 years, so you're gonna want that history and everything. But first thing first, why I like them is because they're oversold on the RSI, and they've never been oversold on the RSI, and we can circle that. What happens when the stock gets oversold on the RSI? Well, if we go to a smaller time frame, we'll be able to see what happens to that RSI. And on a weekly time frame, we saw it bounce here, where they went from 153 all the way back up to 230. But also we can see it's at this zone, this demand area zone, right between this area on the higher time frame. And also my game plan is, if I'm gonna lose more than 30%, I want to invest in it. So when I was looking at this, I was like, okay, this respects that 30% level, especially if I start with starter position and just add to it as it comes down. Like, this is a macro demand area that has been holding up, and this is a zone in general that it has been holding up for over 5 years. So oh yeah, I definitely got my eyeballs on it. But not only that, recently, the past couple of days, it has found the support area that is not breaking below. But what else? Let's go over some financials. Let me make sure that I'm on the right track. Went over charts. Nope. Let's go over earnings real fast, and then revenue and stuff like that. So over their earnings and revenue, as we can tell, their net margin has been decreasing, but their total revenue has been increasing, and it has been going up fast. It has over doubled in less than 5 years. Let's check out the balance sheet. Their assets, the liabilities is doing great. They're definitely investing in the future. Their assets are steadily increasing. You might ask, what does GLOB do? Well, they're engaged in the provision of information technology services. It includes application development, testing, infrastructure management, and application maintenance. And they got a couple of AI deals with agentic AI in the making. They're consistently networking to expand the profits. So the profits are only going to grow for agentic AI. So, I mean, are we in an AI bubble? The market can always crash. Are we in the economic bubble in general? The debt is going up. The employment rate, well, the unemployment rate is going up, but debt is going up. So it's like, okay, the whole economy gonna crash eventually. But over the past 300 years, we're still following the optimistic path of financial optimism, you feel me? But all right, let's check out the fundamental ratios and current events for GLOB first. I'm gonna also put on the screen what these definitions mean. But net margin, we need that above 10%. That's not good. I expect it to continuously increase as the business continuously do great things. That the equity is great, it's below 1. Dividend yield, it doesn't matter because I'm not a dividend investor. UPS is my biggest dividend position. I love UPS. UPS is not only my biggest dividend position, it's my biggest position in general. Free cash flow is great as well. There need to be more. Return on equity is profitable. Current ratio is great. And let's go over some current events, man. These are what analysts expecting for GLOB. It's valuable, it has a future, has a decent past, and it seems very, very healthy to them because it's in the technology sector. Not only that, it's trading 51% below their estimated value. Earnings are forecast to grow 27%. And they said the same thing I said. Them net margins, them profit margins, they need to get them up. And they have been decreasing. That is one risk about them. But they are continuously making more efforts to grow as a business. All right, look, check this out. They said fair value 141. Now, I ain't say nothing about what his stock price can go, because, yeah, I ain't say none of that. But, yeah, as you can tell, if I raise 30%, I'm going to definitely make over 50% and 100%. So, risk to reward is very great to me personally. And also, these are the areas I will continuously grow in the regulatory compliance, 51%, data standardized, 49%, patient support, 46%, market intelligence, 46%. These are some of the high priority use cases. Is going to continue to go up. Let's go over their earnings real fast, because this video is already 10 minutes long. They're in over 35 countries. They work with these companies. I hate making videos over 15 minutes long. Let's check out their earnings. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of stocks earnings for 2025, 2026 is a little lower than what they made previously, just because of how the economy is moving as a whole. But yeah, they're consistently beating earnings. They almost beat them right here. They barely scraped by. And the same with revenue as well. They're continuously growing their revenue and their profits. And let's check this out. How is their revenue breaking down from 2018? This is what their categories are and how much they have made since. It has, over quadrupled. It has over quadrupled a lot of the categories on this on here. This is what they're getting paid for by country. We definitely need the United States to be the biggest revenue source, because we know how things going. We might get cut off from every country. So yeah, we're gonna need United States money going into these companies. But so check this out. We got GPK next. Why is GPK so great? Well, first thing first, they're oversold on the monthly. Ooh, they not. Hold up, let me rephrase that. They're not oversold on the monthly, but they're coming down to the 200 EMA. By the time they come to the 200 EMA, they're gonna be oversold on the monthly. And what do they do when they become oversold on the monthly? They take off every time. And how much do they take off by? I don't know. We're finna measure it though. It go up by a lot. Let's see. It went up over 200%. That's crazy. And then look right here. That's, oh my God, that's 4,800%. But right there, 2,300. You feel me? So that's why we like to use that RSI on a higher time frame, because it's gonna show you some good history. But also it's oversold on the weekly time frame. But let's go over why I like them as a company and what do they even do. What do they even do? They engage in the provision of paper-based packaging solutions for a variety of products, food, beverage, and other consumer product companies. What I must say is, like, the food industry and the consumer sector stocks have been taking a major hit. I ain't gonna lie, and money will soon flow to them, because a lot of the stocks in the processed industries is at an all-time low, or not at an all-time low, but should I say a 52-week low. Let's check them out. Their revenues is consistently growing. Their profits is just growing out of the water for real. Balance sheet is straight, and yep, this straight too. Could be better. It's straight though. But look, analysts are expecting them to grow. Not just me. People smarter than me expecting them. You feel me? Okay, let's go over their earnings from an annual standpoint. So they did take a little hit in 2024 in their earnings, of course, but they're continuously growing as a business. They are expected to take some hits, potentially from the tariffs, or I gotta read up on why they expected to take some hits. But they're continuously growing as a business, and they will continuously grow in the future. GPK fundamental ratios of net margin definitely needs to increase, but as they're expanding their business, it will increase. That the equity it needs to come down. Dividend yield is 2.5%, which is mid. Free cash flow definitely needs to turn over and be plus 2,300%. Return on equity is profitable. Current ratio is good. All right, next we're gonna go over a little current events for GPK. What current events are helping GPK continue to be bullish? Like I said, they design products and consumer packaging products, but they have great value, dividend great, and some health and a good pass. They're trading at 62% below their estimated fair value. Earnings are expected to grow, and trading good at value compared to peers in industry, but they got high debt, significant insider selling, and yeah, that's some things that are going to fearmonger people into selling. But at the same time, they're at a macro demand area and they're doing great things as a business. But check this out. Free cash flow is expected to be over 980 million. Well, increase to 980. Free cash flow is expected to increase to 980 million by 2035. If we check this out, free cash flow is doing terrible, but free cash flow is expected to do great things. Also, they see it's trading below 62% of its trading value. It should be priced at around $45. That's what the analysts say. So their vision for 2030 is not only to be growing as a business, but to steadily improve the environmental footprint, enable safe, engaged, customer-focused culture. Yeah, that's good. 0 life injuries. That's crazy. Build a leading, sustainable, focused consumer packaging innovation platform. They're consistently expected to do great things. What are the companies that use their products? Well, these are the companies that use their products. Well, not companies, but the uses for their products. Look at them. They're also expanding in the hands of tens of million consumers every day. Like, I got products of them already. I already know it's crazy. Like, I be investing. When it's crazy, when I be investing in the stuff I see every day. Like, okay, I see a UPS truck. I'm like, hey, UPS to the moon.